Obviously dropped out with a mechanical failure of some sort.
We continue to watch as Rick Mears works his way around the track, trying to hold off a charging Unser Jr. Now to the backstretch. Unser Jr. trying to take fourth away from Rick Mears. No problem at all once he got there.
It appears that Rick is just not handling as good as he should. I'm not making excuses for Al passing him. Little Al always goes better in the race than he does in practice and qualifying. In fact, I knew that he's going to be tough all day that way. I really believe that Rick and the Penske's have missed on their track settings just a little bit, Paul.
Well, Bobby, that seems to be true of many drivers, that they race much faster than they practice or qualify. Why?
Well, just a guess on what the setups are going to be. Look at Al cutting under the white line. If you watch Rick when he comes by, pretty soon you'll see that he'll stay above the white line. What happens is they all have to guess at their setting for race day. They really don't know exactly what it's going to be like. Sometimes, because they're so finely tuned, they miss it just a little bit.
So Unser Jr., once he is able to get past Rick Mears and get a firm grip on fourth place, begins to pull away just now, and Rick Mears continues to fall a little backwards. But let's remember that it was a year ago that Rick Mears fell a full lap behind the race at about this point, and then, of course, came back to win.
And this is the time during the race, Paul, that the racetrack will get just a little bit slippery. The bug just hit the windshield on the camera there. But the racetrack will get just a little bit slippery.
Danny Sullivan sits in his car.
And pretty soon it'll go away, and the track will come back again. And you'll see a lot harder races. See the cars group up a lot more then.
All right, so Danny Sullivan has his problems today, as they continue, though, to apparently plan to get that car back into action.
Well, the Penske attitude is if you can make it run, you try your best. And even if it's many laps down, they may put Danny back out on the track. You know, we see as we ride with Unser Jr. here, Al, when he rejoined Team Gallus, which is the team he drives for now, after an absence of 3 years, he did so, and with the chemistry of the moment, he came back really as the leader of the team. And although he's only 27 years old, he has considerable self-esteem and confidence, and he's certainly being vindicated right now.
You can see how low he was running on the track. There's Sullivan going back out, so he must have temporarily at least got his troubles fixed, or maybe they got him fixed good, but he doesn't seem to be in a lot of a hurry. But you can watch Al now as he comes down into the turn. He'll get under, well, he didn't do it there, but he's been running under the white line a little bit because of the traffic.
All right, Unser Jr. continues to circle this course in fourth place. We asked him, if you hadn't become a race driver, then what would you become?
If I hadn't have become a race car driver, I would be inclined to fly jets, fly airplanes. I would want to fly the most technically advanced airplane that there is what I would want to fly.
You know, Little Al's favorite expression is the word neat. When things are going well, he says neat. I wouldn't be a bit surprised if he wasn't saying that to himself right now, because things are going.
It's not just Little Al's quirk.
You're right. It's an Unser family trait.
Bobby Unser has said it, too. By the way, Danny Sullivan was in the pits for 3 minutes and 13 seconds on board with Michael Andretti now as he begins to close down on his dad. Michael runs in third. His dad is in second place just ahead, so it's an inter-team battle for second place. The Andretti family in a feud.
Just a little note on the car setups, Paul. I was looking at you can look at Mario, excuse me, right underneath the white line there all the way. But the setups on the Penske cars, for example, between the Penske team and the Emerson Fittipaldi Patrick team. One of them, like, for example, Penske has a real small rear wing, big wicker bill on the back. There's Danny Sullivan back into the pits again. And then the other car has of Emerson Fittipaldi has the big wing with the small wicker bill. Totally two different concepts going into this race.
Here comes Michael, going to try his dad. They're on the backstretch. Michael comes to the inside, a whole line of cars just in front. Michael has to get down on the binders hard in the third turn, but Michael gets her.
He had to brake hard, Paul, to keep him hitting that car that he was coming upon and that he was lapping there. Traffic got really tight for a while. But it just gives you an idea, like I was saying, of the different concepts that you can do with different cars at this racetrack.
Michael Andretti, that's Raul Boisel just alongside. It's not a path for position because Michael has second place right now. the car ahead is the 20 car of the Emerson Fittipaldi that he will now set his sights on. 50 laps, or 1/4 of the Indianapolis 500 are complete.
I think Michael has been probably the best handling car so far that we've watched, other than Emerson Fittipaldi. Of course, Emma's not been in the passing race. He's leading the race. But watch Michael as he passes cars. He can just go with the inside and like across the short chute. Right here, he just drives right on by them. Not too many guys do that.
Now, a few moments ago, we said that Danny Sullivan, on his long stop before he came back in, was in the pits for 3 minutes and 13 seconds. In today's terms, that means he dropped about 8 miles behind the race.
Well, you know, it's interesting as we watch Michael rip past his father.
Continuing fight here. This is the fight for third place between Mario Andretti and Little Al.
Makes you think really about the father and son business, because Mario let Michael by. Absolutely. There is Unser Jr. tucking back in behind Mario. A classic battle among all these great drivers today.
He tries to get to the inside. You can see that it gets rough when you get down below that line. Another reason not to drive there. The track flattens out once you're down under there. Mario just screaming. Here comes Little Al coming to the high side. Slower car just ahead. Little Al trying to pace his way now onto the main stretch, looking to his mirrors to see where Mario is. Mario is right there as well as they continue their fight down into the first turn. Both very low, trying to avoid that slower car sitting just ahead.
Well, that slower car's really holding them up, really making an exciting race out of them. I guarantee it's got them worried an awful lot. They're having to weave back and forth, making them not know where the other guy's going to go, and they're running all the way down to the track.
Shouldn't be worried about that car ahead. That's Rick Vogler. He's one of the real veterans of the tight ovals and midgets and sprints, and he really knows how to get away around an oval. As Little Al continues to work his way past some slower cars and work his way around the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, currently running in third place. Mario is now caught up in traffic behind.
Yeah, but Rich Vogler has had some problems here, crashing 3 out of 4 last races that he ran here, but always at the 2/3 mark. So we assume he's safer now. You know, interesting about the fathers and sons. Well, we'll get to that in just a second, because Jack Arute is down with Danny Sullivan. Jack?
And Sam, I'm sure Danny Sullivan is somewhat relieved to have this month of May over. A faulty clutch put you out of the race.
Yeah, I lost all the drive. It just coming down the straightaway, I was on the gas and just spinning, so figured I wasn't getting wheel spin at that speed. The Chevrolet wasn't quite that strong.
The question about the arm. You didn't stay in very long, but how does it feel?
Feels okay. I didn't seem like having problems. We had just started to adjust the car. We had a radio problem. I didn't like losing a lap early on, but we would have been okay.
Now, for Team Penske, there doesn't seem to be the domination that we've seen in other years. Fittipaldi has broken to the front. Have maybe the Penske team missed the setup just a little bit this morning?
Well, it's a long race. We're not very far into it. Don't forget, last year I ran away early on and hid, and Rick and Al came back, so we'll see.
To reinforce that, Paul Page, we did check with the crew chief on Rick Mears' car, and he said that's precisely it. They've set a race pace. They're not at all concerned, and they said wait till the second half of the event.
Well, Rick Mears, Danny Sullivan's teammate, runs back in 6th place right now. There's the leader, Emerson Fittipaldi. He has led right from the green flag through a 12-lap caution period and through the first 125 miles of this Indianapolis 500.
Of course, we should remember that at this point in the race last year, Rick Mears was 1 lap down, and he came back to win.
Emerson Fittipaldi is out in front at the Indianapolis 500. We'll be back with more live from Indianapolis after this. Bobby Rahal stopped on the racetrack, and they have brought out the yellow flag as a result of this situation. He's going to have to be towed in. Bobby Rahal stopped on the course.
Bobby Rahal signed with that team, Preco, this year for $1 million. So this is a man being paid $1 million.
And the leader is going to make a stop under this yellow. Comes at a pretty good time for the leaders, really. He last stopped on his 34th lap. We're now on the 61st lap. So they've gone almost 30 laps, and Emerson Fittipaldi and the Patrick team making a stop. Here's Jack Arute.
Well, Chip Ganassi, who's one of the co-owners, was waving at the crew because there was a giant piece of plastic on the front wing. They finally got pulled away. They have changed to the harder compound tires, as we said, as Rick Mears and Al Unser Sr. make their way onto pit road. All the lead cars have now gone to the harder compound tire. The softer tires are now put aside, and when we talk to the fellows here, as Al Unser Jr. also goes by, they're all going going to stay with the harder tires. So the tire story has become less of a story now as we near the quarter mark of the race.
Here's Al Unser making his stop again looking from the crew cam, and there is Rick Mears coming out of the pits, both Penske cars that are left in the race. With